All right, guys, I do have a Monday editorial for you. That's right, it's Monday. Sing the Monday blues. We're going to Massachusetts, and I was reading, I think, if I remember correctly, this is the 8th state trooper out of Massachusetts to plead guilty to this thing that's going on. It's kind of a ring. There's 8 guys doing this, 8 state troopers so far. And, oh my God, you guys are going to love it. So there wasn't a whole lot of pickings to choose from as far as stories, but I did get one for you this morning out of Massachusetts, an editorial on a state trooper. The link to the full story will be in the description box below, as always. Out of Massachusetts, a 40-year-old Massachusetts state police trooper pleaded guilty in federal court to stealing overtime money by skipping specialized patrol shifts and writing or falsifying tickets to make it appear he was working. Heath McAuliffe of Hopkinton, who was suspended in the overtime investigation, pleaded guilty to 1 count of embezzlement from an agency receiving federal funds in a Boston federal court Friday, according to court records. He will be sentenced on June 4th. Now, according to a plea agreement on file in the court, the U.S. Attorney agrees to recommend a sentence of 6 months to 1 year. 6 months to 1 year in prison and 1 year of supervised release for embezzlement. I guess that's not a bad crime. The government will seek $7,860 in restitution. A previous news release about the case against Heath McAuliffe said he was paid $9,825 for overtime shifts he did not work, but the government's seeking $7,860 in restitution. What happens to the other $200? I don't know. Thin blue, yeah. McAuliffe is one of several troopers from the Troop E accused of skipping specialized enforcement patrols known as Air Patrols, A-I-R-E, patrols on the Massachusetts Turnpike. He skipped working some of those specialized patrols between August 2015 and August 2016, federal records show. Now, quote, McAuliffe was paid for overtime shifts that he did not work at all, for which he arrived late and from which he left early, authorities said in an earlier news release. Quote, McAuliffe concealed his fraud by submitting fraudulent citations designed to create the appearance that he had worked overtime hours that he had not, and falsely claimed in Massachusetts State Patrol paperwork and payroll entries that he had worked the entirety of his overtime shifts. And he's going to get 6 months to a year embezzlement conviction. Okay, the accidents and injury reduction effort patrols, oh, that's what that was, were created to reduce aggressive driving and enforce infractions on the Massachusetts Turnpike. Maybe Monkey 83 will drive his butt up there and do a story on it for us. 8 troopers have been charged. I always love to volunteer people. 8 troopers have been charged, 8, that's right, in federal court on embezzlement charges in connection with the overtime investigation. 3 troopers, including Lieutenant David Wilson, are also facing state charges in the investigation. Wilson is the only trooper to face state and federal charges. The other one's just federal. Federal records detail the fraud committed by McAuliffe. On September 15, 2015, the trooper had a day off but worked a 4-hour overtime shift providing security for a liquid natural gas tanker. He also worked a 4-hour air overtime shift that day, which was the accidents and something reduction. McAuliffe claimed he wrote 8 motor vehicle citations during the shift. Investigators reviewed the citations and discovered no driver histories were requested during the September 15, 2015 overtime shift by the trooper. 7 of the citations had never been issued, authorities discovered while reviewing State Registry of Motor Vehicle records. So here this state trooper, who's cop, law enforcement, embezzlement, and he gets 6 months to a year. One of us does something like that, we're looking at, I don't know, what, 5 years and fired and never work again in law enforcement. I would put money on the odds that this guy will be a cop somewhere else, somewhere in the United States, after, of course, his serving his time. He'll be back to taking more money in no time at all. And I'm not saying embezzlement. Maybe he'll be taking it honestly. But how the hell do these guys keep getting away with stuff? News Now UKIP letting you know what's going on in law enforcement across the nation. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Happy Monday.